Hi, my name is Zoe Also. I'm a banker, and my husband here, I met him in the banking hall. Yes, he walked in all swagged up, and I just couldn't take my eyes off him. Yes, so that's how we met.
Hi, my name is Charles Also, and I'm a market researcher. We've been married for the past 6 years, and it's been beautiful so far. Why did you choose me?
You remember I told you that I was looking for someone who sweep me off my feet?
Yes.
And you did just that. So, so yeah, I just loved everything about you. You ticked all my boxes.
Hey, boxes.
Yeah, so that's why I chose you. Why did you choose me too?
So growing up, I used to fall sick pretty often, and I grew up alone with my mom. She is a center point of whatever I do, and I always used to say that I'll make sure the person I marry is a very good person who can accommodate not myself but then my mother as well. And on that day when I walked into the bank and I met you, I noticed you because I had been to the bank a couple of times, but then I think that special day God wanted us to meet. So on that day, when I went to Teller 3 instead of Teller 1, and I met you, when we became friends, it felt okay. No, I have to get to know this lady much more than all the other people I have met. And I also came to experience how wonderful and how great a human you are. Every single thing kept on telling me, Charlie, you have to get, like, not just be this girl's boyfriend, but you have to get married to this young lady because you are like the perfect version of whatever I had always prayed for.
Aww.
And you were an answer to my prayers.
Okay. What was your first impression about me?
Let me see. I felt you were intelligent and you could be annoying. And you remember the very first thing I said was it was when I had filled the form and given it to you, and I spoke about the fact that please make sure you enter the name of the person I'm paying for and not me. And you gave me, yeah, I know.
Because you were annoying. So I met you the way you met me.
Yes. Like, yeah, I know. So I felt, oh yeah, but it was in a very lovely way. It was in a lovely way. It was interesting. It was captivating. I felt like, okay, I have to get to know this lady. Yeah. So I think that was my first impression. Okay. What do you think is the most memorable day in our marriage? In our 6 years of marriage, what is the most memorable day to you?
There are lots of memorable days. A lot of memorable days. Maybe when we had our first baby. Yeah, I think that day was really memorable, and I was excited to have you by my side. You almost didn't stay. You almost didn't make it, but you listened to your intuition and you stayed. So I think that is, it was our first baby, and you remember how the events that happened before then. So him coming into this world was a memorable day. Yeah. What would you say was a memorable day?
Yeah, we've tried to create so many memorable days, so but I could say Nana Kofi's bet as well.
So you agree?
Kojo's bet was beautiful, but I had already experienced
The
very first time. But with Nana Kofi, my mom was a midwife, so going to the delivery place wasn't really a new something. But then having the opportunity to hold your hands, being there, seeing his head coming out, like, Jesus, we brought a human being into this world. Yeah. It's something that I can't ever forget, and it's perhaps the most beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. What one change have you noticed about me since we got married? A lot of things have changed. Just mention one.
Let me see. Okay, you've added on a little bit of weight, which I love. Yeah, which I love. So maybe that's one thing. One change I've noticed about you. Yeah, putting on a little bit of weight. Because first I was afraid in case of a major wind they could carry you away. Okay. Yes. So,
Thank God that major wind never came.
Yeah. So I think you've put on a little bit.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Is there any major thing that has changed?
I would say your love for me has evolved. Yeah, it has changed. Like every day. As and when things happen, we talk a lot. So I've seen you improve in so many ways, and I believe I feel more loved now than 6 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a good change.
That's a good change. What one thing did I ever do to disappoint you?
Disappointment. When I was in the labor ward, I called for you once. I don't think you were there.
Okay.
Like, from my point of view, it was a disappointment because the pain I was in, I really needed you around. But obviously, you needed to attend to one or two things. Yeah. So that is. I think afterwards, there was another time I called you and I told you specifically that when I call you, come first. When I call you, come first. So yeah, that first time when I called for you and you were not around, yeah, it was a disappointment. But yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Same question for you.
So far, no. I don't think. No. There is nothing I can think of right now that has been. I'm not saying you are perfect. You are not perfect. No one is perfect. But you have exceeded my expectations when it comes to being married and all that. So for now, at least for the first 6 years, I don't think there's anything like that.
Right. Thank God, though. Hey, there are lots of change questions here. If you could change one thing in our marriage, what would it be?
If I could change one thing in our marriage, what would it be? Our financial status. I wish we were I wish we were much more richer than we are now. Yes, and I mean it's something within our capacity or my capacity. So if I could change one thing, I think that's what I will want to change. Yeah.
Okay.
If you could change one thing in our marriage, what
Well, I was going to say our lifestyle, which basically our finances is like the bedrock, if I should say. More money, more enjoyment, right? Yeah, so.
More enjoyment, yeah. What do you think is our biggest fight since we got married?
I mean, you know now.
What's our biggest fight since we got married?
Okay, so remember after I had Kofi?
Yeah.
Our sexual life was a bit some way. I mean, obviously, I was expecting you to understand the fact that, hey, I wake up at dawn, I'm stressed, I'm tired, I go to work, I come back and all of that. And you remember how challenging it was for me to balance being a mother and then being a wife.
Yeah.
So, you know, it affected our sexual life. And obviously we had fights upon fights, arguments upon arguments, discussions upon discussions. And yeah, I think that's...
Yes.
Or do you remember any other one?
No, I mean, any argument we have or
ever had?
Yeah, there's agreement we've ever had has had to do with sex. And that was like you mentioned when after Kofi came, because I also felt like Charlie, Daddy also needs some TLC. Like, yeah. And I think we were first I was coming from the angle of attack. Like, you're not paying attention to me too as well. But I noticed that when the day I came, okay, how do we go around this? Like, I know that, and it wasn't like an attack. I remember we had one of the best conversations we've ever had. We agreed on how we were going to go about it. Yeah, so I think that has worked.
Yeah.
What do you usually miss about me when I'm not around? When I travel, what do you miss about me?
Just your warmth, your presence, like the banter we share, the vibes, everything about you, your person.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you miss about me?
That's why you don't want me to travel.
You will travel.
It's there's always that feel of there is something missing. I mean, since we got married, I've not traveled as much as before when we were dating, but on one or two of I remember when I went to Gimpa for my program. I was like, oh, I'm missing something. I'm missing my wife. Maybe not even just to do anything, but just to see you. Like, it feels like, oh, okay, she's okay. Like, everything is okay. So when I'm not around, I feel like, oh, is everything okay with you?
Yeah.
Are you getting? So that's what I miss.
Okay. What are some things I do that makes you think or feel that I don't love you?
Okay. Proud to, like I mentioned, the whole sex thing, proud to that. I mean, those moments, it was as if Maybe I remembering the words I use. I remember saying, you don't have affection for me or something like that. Like, yeah. But after that, I have not had that experience. I've rather felt like, yeah, Charlie, this girl, you overlove me, so I'll charge you for
Okay.
What do you think is my weakness in this relationship?
Sometimes you can get overly emotional.
Yeah.
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 There are many times that obviously it's obvious that you're not in a good mood for whatever reason. And I'll ask you and you'll be like, I'll be okay. So yeah, those are times that you're overly emotional. You can be, but just a few times. I think it's fine. I mean, you can't always be bubbly anyway. So yeah.
Sometimes I switch off without even knowing. And how about you?
Come again?
The same question to you.
What's the question again?
What do you think? So what do I think is your weakness in this relationship? Yeah, okay. So maybe I also feel like because we have kids, and sometimes it's like, oh, maybe you even want to have some TLC, you want to cuddle, you want to have sex, and it's like they are around, Kofi's awake, Kojo's awake, and all that. And I feel okay as soon as they sleep or something, like you should come. Say, hey,
Yeah.
Charlie, they are like, let's do something. Because maybe you may have seen, I may have tried something, but then because the boys are awake, like obviously nothing will happen. And at that moment, I feel like, okay, you have some time, so you should also, how do I put it? You should activate what was supposed to happen earlier, but then maybe by that time you usually say you were also tired and all that. Then I also feel like why me, but then I have to come and activate it, so me too I won't do
better.
oh no, way better, way better.
Okay.
Yeah, way better. I mean,
Right.
those were some of the issues that we used to have. Yeah, so I think that was your weakness, but now I'll say you have improved it. Yeah.
What one thing do I do around the house that annoys you? Around the house that annoys you?
It annoys me. Well, maybe I'm not thinking straight. I can't seem to pinpoint what you do.
I'm also trying to think of something, but
I think I can't really.
so let's give.
Have you ever thought about my death and what you would do if I died today?
We've had this conversation,
we've
right?
had the death conversation.
Yeah. What I would do?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about my death and what you would do if I died today? So maybe right now,
What will I do?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll do. Honestly, it will be hard. Yeah. It'll be hard, but I don't know what I'll do. I can't, like, can we really plan for death fully? I don't think so. So, God forbid, but if it's time, I'm sure I don't know. I'll find a way around it, but I don't know what I'll do. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do. I won't ask you that question. Okay, what's one thing do you need in a partner that I'm not providing? What do you need?
You forget more money.
Okay.
More cash. Right now I have cash, but I forget more cash. I like more cash. So that's the only thing.
Okay,
aside that, I think for now everything is okay. Aside that, yes, because the one that we had a major issue on, we worked on. So, what's one major thing would you want me to improve on, or would you wish to have in a partner?
I know the boys worry you. I know the boys worry, like they make you go nuts. Yeah, but I wouldn't say you don't have it already. You do, but I would love for you to have a bit more patience with them. I mean, they are boys. You know how boys are. So most boys are very, all over the place and everything. So yeah, just a little bit more patience.
Your sons want me to go mad before my daughter comes.
Ish.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Right.
I'll work on it.
Okay.
I'll work on reducing my screaming.
I think we are done.